Feeling loose today, baby. What's going on, guys? Happy Monday. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts today. And today, like every day, we're coming at you from our studio here. And hopefully we'll get fiber soon, Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, we're talking Sam Bankman-Fried, Caroline Ellison, an FTX update, how much money Genesis owes Gemini customers, also an update on Aave. We're talking Avalanche. Forest weekly Fast 5 Forest video is on Avalanche today. Big partnerships happening. And also we have a very special guest joining us in about 30 minutes. Ryan Matta will be joining us. We're going to talk with him about FTX, SBF, the whole Sam Bankman-Fried narrative and much more. But before we can talk about all that, I have to introduce you to your other co-host, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola, it's your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, and stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy way. Kind of like your new rebranded Las Vegas Raiders, who are on a 2-game winning streak.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we are no longer.
You win one game and you're the new rebranded the...
Two games. 2 games.
Oh, sorry, 2 games, yeah.
2 games in a row. Thank you. Yeah, so Raiders looking good. Sin City Crypto looking good.
Packers are trash.
And also, if you guys are new here, say hello so that way I can drop an hola back at you. And that's an hola without the H. I see that the chat is figuring that out finally.
An H-less hola.
And Kelly boy, I don't know if you've been here before, but hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Okay, for the people that are new.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, man.
Listen,
Excited today, man.
how's your weekend, buddy?
It was good, man. I watched some soccer. Watched some football. So both footballs.
Wait, football or football?
I watched both balls. That didn't come out right. Okay. Yeah. 17K Bitcoin, huh?
Damn.
Yeah. Things moving. And then also, guys, if there's anything you want us to discuss, make sure you drop it in the chat. We'd like we talked amongst each other. We want to be more engaged with our community. We want to answer more questions. So if you guys have something that you want to say, some thoughts, make sure you put it in the chat. And also drop that like button. Where's everybody at? We got less than 40 people in here. We got the cricket button still?
Yeah, I was going to miss Nuggies.
No, it's still gone.
That one's gone? Okay.
You got rid of the cricket button?
Yeah.
Because they know. Because of you.
It was
Because of
literally
me.
acting.
It's always me.
It was literally acting like a cricket, and it was just going off at random times. And I was like, "Why?" You're like, when you're at the house and you're like, "Where the hell is that damn cricket?" And yeah.
Well, you kind of look like a cricket. Cricket. Chirp, 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 chirp. All right. I want to get right into... Thank you, Rocco. Take it. I want to get right. Robin mentioned Bitcoin sitting at 17K. I got a chart pulled up for Bitcoin here. So we had this pattern drawn out. Well, I had this pattern drawn out on the 1-hour chart for Bitcoin. I'm the flag man. I like to find flags on charts. And this was a beautiful bull flag that did break to the upside, right? We saw a perfect breakout move, right? It's not just, oh my God, all right, the price broke above, let's buy in. No. You want to see the retest of the trend line, which we did twice. We retested here on midnight on Saturday. We came back up to this margin. I got the margin pressure levels, by the way. We came back up to this local low I selected here today at 8 in the morning. This is an hour chart, by the way. And then we retested again about 3 p.m. on Saturday. And since then, we've gone up. We came back, retested this local low we had, went up all the way to this margin pressure level here at 17,400, wicked up there, came back down, and now we're sitting right around 17,000 flat. What we are seeing, we got as far as if we take a look at the candlesticks by themselves. So I like to think of candlesticks as sentiment of the traders, right? Wicks and bodies and the color of the candle tell you everything you need to know about trader sentiment. Couple that with volume, couple that with some indicators, and you have a brief idea of what trader sentiment is and what we can expect the price to do from a probability standpoint. And so here we saw this candle close at a spinning top. You have a high wick to the upside, high wick to the downside, but the candle closes near its open. So a lot of indecision in the market. Then we came out. had a nice big green candle that wicked all the way up to 1713, and now we are coming down. If this closes near its open, this would actually be a bullish sign as long as it stays green. That would insinuate a inverse shooting star. Essentially, a shooting star. You have a lower body, high. The wick is about 3 times larger than the width of the body. And that signals a reversal, at least in the short term, because we are looking at the 1 hour. But if we do reverse, the first level of resistance we should see is 17,015. And then we should definitely see big resistance at 17,004. I wouldn't be surprised if we double top there, came back down to settle around 17,150. But that remains to be seen. So that's what that's looking like. Also, we're just going TA today. We're just jumping off of TA. So Quant, I found a rising wedge on Quant on the daily chart. And so this is not good. And in terms of probabilities, this should break to the downside. If we measure the width of this wedge, should give us an idea of what kind of move we should see. And we're looking at about an 18% move, which if we do break, let's say we take a couple more days, we do break up here, 18% would put Quant at $105 from 127. Do you have any general thoughts on Quant, Robin? Do you have any in your bag that you're currently holding?
I don't have any Quant right now. I know I had exposure before, but then I reconsolidated over to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. Kind of had less exposure to a lot of different projects on the portfolio, trying to consolidate and just weather the storm. Even though I'm a big believer in Quant, at this moment, I'm just playing it extra safe. You never know. There's all kinds of bridges and hacks and things are breaking lately. And so I'm just trying to weather the storm through this bear market. Now, with that said, big fans of Quant, of Gilbert Verdian, the founder, the partnerships that they're making. I am eyeballing good positions to get in. I think here in the next I think
anything under 100.
The next 2 months, I think, is probably the bottom of the bear market. If it hasn't come already, I think we're going to at least stay close to the bottom. I don't think we're going to break out of 20K within the next 2 months, in my opinion, barring some white swan. Is it white swan?
Well, bad is black swan. Good is white swan.
White swan. And so
if we get favorable regulation passed, that would be a white swan event.
So, that could always happen, and I don't ever discount anything, especially in crypto and Bitcoin. When you compare it to other asset classes, like the housing market or like commodities like gold, the market cap's pretty small. So, it doesn't take much to move the market in a certain direction. And we've been used to it moving to the downward direction as of lately. But hey, if you've been around in this space long enough, you'll know that it is not out of the realm of possibilities for Bitcoin to rally, say, to 30,000, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now, do I think, but at the end of the day, it's a game of probabilities. And so that's why for right now, I'm hedging my bet. I'm hedging my portfolio. I'm erring on the side of caution. I'm sticking to my my blue chip projects, the top 3 or 4 projects. And then I'm looking for entry points at the best possible value for more risque plays. And even though I deem them risque, they're still pretty solid projects. So
you keep saying risque. You can say risky. You know that, right? Like, what's the point of saying risque? You're trying to sound sophisticated? Risque.
Why you hating on my words, bro?
Sorry, bro. It's just like, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say risque as much as you, except those performers at the Las Vegas shows.
Yeah. Well, you know what else
risque.
is? You know what else is risky? Investing in this right here. Let's take a look. When dead projects add to their second collection.
That's so true. That is so true. There are so many NFT projects that don't get their first collection off the ground and then launch another one. Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Bring value to your investors, and it's not bringing value in the form of a second worthless collection. Like, so many projects I invested in that did this. It's extremely disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Rob, what are the rest of the markets looking like, my friend?
All right, I'm glad you asked because Bitcoin's sitting right above that 17K mark. So $17,080 right now. We got as high as 17.3 today. So a lot of movement in the market, which is interesting because conversely, you have the traditional markets in the red here. You have the NASDAQ down 1.6%. So we're getting a divergence, at least in the short term. So that's pretty interesting. And I think taking a look at the rest of the market, here, let's take a peek what the rest of the crypto's doing. So on the 24 hours, everything kind of flat, not far off of the zero. But taking a look at the weekly, Bitcoin is up 5%, ETH up 8%, and Doge up 7%. This is probably because Elon has been referencing Dogecoin on several instances. He was on Twitter Spaces talking about the integration of crypto being an inevitability and that it's coming. And everybody knows when there's crypto payments on Twitter, Doge will for sure be in the group, right?
100%.
You don't think that he would have Twitter as a means of payment and exclude Doge, right? And only have Bitcoin, right?
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Now there is tipping. So you can already move crypto on Twitter. So, that's already here. And so, what we're curious is if it just ends up being an integral part of the system and into the social media platform, the same way that if you're familiar with WeChat, which is a social media, not really, well, it's more of a communication platform or social media network in Asia, particularly in China, and there they use it as a dominant form of payment. So it's regularly used, almost kind of comparable to like a PayPal, but in Asia. And so could we see that with the likes of Twitter? So instead of, expand your mind on this. Think about it. What if you just had your Twitter account and you had your wallet on your Twitter account, and that's how you just paid for stuff? I know it sounds kind of naive because you're like, oh no, why would I use Twitter? But hey, why wouldn't you use Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Right now, you use Google to watch us. You also probably have a Google Mail. And how many other Google products are there? You also have your search engine for all, anytime you type something in the search bar using Google. And so why not have one of the biggest companies in the world, spearheaded by one of the richest men in the world, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and expand on that? We already know he's accepting the membership of $8 a month. Would not surprise me if the dude's all like, "Hey, man, you know what? We can bring financial services to millions of people, billions of people around the world that don't have access to it, but have access to Twitter." So just a little food for thought there. We have under the crypto bubbles, we have Axie Infinity up for the day, 29%. And this was significantly down during the bear market, more than other projects because of the Ronin hack, where they drained a 500 billion. No,
600 million.
600 million. Yeah. And then, so take a look at the week. It is up 35%. And Phantom up as well. And what else we got? Sand up 6%. And then Crypto Fear and Greed Index in at 26. So this is kind of where we've been at as of lately. That's all I got, bro.
Beautiful. Let's move on to our weekly coin spotlight of the week, which is going to be Avalanche. Forrest is going to go over Avalanche charts, some news, great content. By the way, if you're not subscribed to Forrest Crypto Stackers, go subscribe to him, Crypto Stackers Pro on YouTube. So without further ado, my friends, Rocco, go ahead and pull up my laptop, sir. Let's get this thing going.
All right, let's talk about Avalanche. We're going to cover the price action in just a second, but first, there's 3 pieces of news around Avalanche that I want to briefly cover. The first, Avalanche receives major boost as Alibaba Cloud expands support for Avalanche. So this is from Avalanche's Twitter. Ali Cloud's infrastructure, tech, and intelligence tools provide greater access to computing, storage, and distribution resources for anyone to spin up a node on Avalanche, further boosting the decentralization of the network. So you can now spin up a node using Alibaba's cloud infrastructure technology. I'm not entirely sure what this means, but this is actually quite interesting. I think there's a little bit of a typo here. To celebrate the partnership, Alibaba Cloud, but I think this is a typo. I think this should say could also run a special promotion offering Avalanche developers credit towards any of their services, which would actually make spinning up a node maybe a little bit more affordable, less expensive using Alibaba's infrastructure. Another interesting tidbit here is that Avalanche's long-term outlook just got more promising after kind of a clickbait headline here, but Avalanche's transaction count continues to rise. This is a very interesting metric and a very important metric. You want to be able to actually measure the growth of a chain or the growth of a user base of a network. This is incredibly important, especially in a bear market. And this is actually a bullish signal in the midst of a bear market. Are users still using the Avalanche chain? The answer is yes. Now, a lot of chains become dead networks in a bear market where they just had some TVL, some activity in a bull market because everybody was speculating. There was tons of money going around. But is the infrastructure, is the network actually being utilized regardless of bull market or bear market? In the case of Avalanche, it would appear based on their metrics that the answer to that question is yes. Lastly, maybe the least interesting piece of news, in my opinion, as far as its effect or potential effect on Avalanche's price, would be that the Avalanche-based DEX Trader Joe to soon deploy on Ethereum scaling system Arbitrum. I don't think this is going to be either good or bad for the price of Avalanche, but it is interesting. Trader Joe was initially launched on Avalanche, and it looks like they're expanding their services over to Arbitrum, which makes a lot of sense. Of course, a lot of activity happening and growth happening on the Arbitrum chain, and protocols and projects are going to chase liquidity and volume wherever they can. Interestingly, one of the largest or the largest protocol or project on Arbitrum is GMX, which is also on Avalanche as well. All right, so now we're going to do a little bit of technical analysis on Avalanche. We've been in a bear market, and this downtrend is exasperated by the fact that Avalanche has had some large token unlocks, a higher inflation rate than is ideal for a token that is seeing a drop in demand in terms of the demand, speculative demand that we would normally see in a period such as in a bull market. We had a large capitulation, a recovery, a retest of this green dashed easy band level, a further slide down, a mean reversion to our 21-week simple moving average, and now we've started to find some support on this green easy band region. Now we're going to zoom out for just a second because I do want to show you the RSI, the weekly RSI. We are getting and have printed bullish divergence. That's where you have divergence in the RSI indicator versus the actual price action. So this is showing us that buyers are actually indeed coming in at a faster pace and a more aggressive pace than they were over here, right? RSI being higher, yet price is actually lower. So buyer strength and buyer confidence, if you will, and momentum is better, more favorable over here, despite the price being a little bit lower, right? Which oftentimes manifests in a nice little bounce. I wouldn't be surprised to see a mean reversion here to the 21-week simple moving average, assuming we don't get a larger capitulation elsewhere in the market, whether that's within Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even outside of the crypto market, somewhere such as maybe even bonds, DXY, or S&P 500. Now, on a shorter term time frame, I do want to zoom into the 4-hour because we've recently taken out a very important level. And that very important level was kind of our range high over here from the 15th of November, kind of that range high we made after this FTX capitulation. We got rejected, obviously, at around our margin pressure level up there, which we'll talk about in just a second. But we've now taken out this range high, and we're trying to build support on top of it. We want to pay attention. Does this deviate, right? Is this just a deviation? And are we going to put in a little inverse head and shoulders here and move back down to our soft support of our green dashed easy band level? Or are we going to make support here and challenge this 15 and change range high? At that point, Wouldn't be terrible in the short term, in my opinion, to look for a little short opportunity. Though, if we do see some bullish momentum out of the entire market, I think AVAX could run it back up to its 21-week simple moving average. Let me throw on our margin pressure levels here because there is a key level at around $15.45. Right, so there we see that key level at 1547. There's plenty of confluence there from multiple short levels, but it's off of our most recent local high that we see that 4x short resistance level. That means the shorts are going to want to start piling back in on 4x leverage at around 1547. Now, we have taken out our 3x short level, 1375, and are trying to make support on top of it. Right, so our next target up, if we can get some momentum here, and we could build support for several days on this level, if the market stalls out a little bit. But 1547 is going to be some tough resistance to get through. If we drag these guys over to our last local high of $30.89, you'll see even more resistance here at this 1545 level. So this is definitely a level that I would like to see AVAX recover and build support on if it's going to move higher. In the short term, however, I think it's a decent level to either de-risk or sell if you're more of a short-term trader or looking for a short-term trading play on AVAX. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video.
All right. If you guys enjoyed the easy band and margin pressure levels, you can get those as well if you'd like. There is an affiliate link in the description of this video if you want to support the channel and have the indicators and get access to Forest Discord. So Rob, can Avalanche be the next bull market Solana?
Bull market Solana?
Yeah.
No. Well, Solana came out of nowhere. So Avalanche is already established. So next bull market. Now, could we see Avalanche become the next Cardano? That I could see, yeah. Now, Cardano had its rally during the 2017 where it got up to $1, and then it 3x the all-time highs, got over $3 during this last bull run. And so with Avalanche, could we see, Avalanche, what did it peak out at, like 35? I know it might have got up to $50 at one point. Yeah. During the last bull market. Oh no, it got all the way over $100.
Yeah, I got to like 150.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyways, I just remember it trading. I remember it trading around $25 to $50 for a while. Oh yeah, over $50 for quite some time.
$145.
But yeah, I could see a $300. I mean, if you're looking at it, you know what?
What?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, take a look at this chart here. And so you have Avalanche. I'm just kind of looking at it on the longer time horizon. So going back, so this was the last bull market, and so you have price at $2 or basically $3 was the list price essentially. And I know you can get it. You could have got it cheaper at some point, maybe $2 or something. But anyways, not far off from there, man. I mean, if the floor price, all-time floor is $3, and you're looking at a $13 Avalanche right now, I mean, if you were just to catch up to all-time highs, I mean, that's a 10x, man.
The problem
and
is,
I know a lot of charts look like this.
Their problem is, man, there's a lot of tokens still left to hit the market.
Yeah.
And they have a very high inflation rate, and
so circulating supply 43% out of their total supply of yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, they had a lot of VC money back in them too.
Oh, did you notice that they have audits here? On the
they just added
market cap?
Here. Yeah. Rocco, you want to swap over to mine? Here, take a look at this. This is from cryptorank.io. Avalanche, take a look at their token sale. They had looks like 3 separate ICO prices, 50 cents or 50 cents, 85 cents. Then they had a private sale at 50 cents, another private sale at 33 cents. They raised $230 million from a funding round, 3 Arrows Capital, Polychain Republic, another $12 million, another $6 million. So, and here's a breakdown of and if we take a look at it, where's public sale? Public option A 1%, option 2 8.3, option 3 0.67. 5% to strategic partners. Team kept 10%, but a majority is for staking rewards. So I don't know. That's the one thing from an investment standpoint. This has nothing to do with the technology, with what's happening on the chain. But we take a look at tokenomics and investment. Is it a good investment based on tokenomics? I don't know.
Well, if the use, utility, and adoption is expected to be equal to what it was in the last bull market, where you had, once again, we'll go ahead and reference Cardano, because I think it's in a very similar spot. Came out, had a lot of backing, newer project in the last bull run, and if you compare their entry to the market right before the bull run of 2020 to entry the market of Cardano right before the bull run, I could see a $200 Avalanche, maybe, call me crazy, $300 Avalanche if you're talking peak to peak. Now,
but don't you think that could be suppressed? That run up could be suppressed by unlocking of more of the tokens in this.
Well, if it's strictly for staking, like are they releasing tokens at a volume that suppresses the prices, or is this staking unlocking, or is this more of a long-term thing where basically these tokens are set aside for the next 100 years? You get what I'm saying? Like Bitcoin, for example, they pay their mining rewards. It's actually, they gave out a lot of their tokens right at the beginning. I mean, you got to think they got over 90% of their tokens out. Is it 90%? I don't know if that number is accurate.
I don't either.
So 19.2 million of the 21 million is already in circulation. And so now you have very little amount hitting the market every day, especially after the next halving. It's going to be even less. And so, for Avalanche, are their staking rewards, spread out over a very long time horizon where these staking rewards won't affect the market? I don't know. We'll see.
I haven't dug deep into
But
that.
I'm just looking strictly off of where we are at on price now, where it's at $13, where the all-time high was before. And if the market FOMOs into Avalanche during the next bull run, I could see it easily surpassing its last all-time highs. That's over a 10x. And a project I feel pretty comfortable with. And, kind of in the same boat with the quant. I don't know if right now is my favorite entry point, but I wouldn't fault anybody else for piling in on Avalanche right now, right?
I mean, it's your money. Do as you please.
Mm-hmm.
I want to move on. So I want to talk some DeFi, and I want to talk about one of the projects I would trust more than anything else when it comes to DeFi. I still would not use DeFi right now. I feel like we just don't know, and call it scared money, don't make money, whatever. But I'd rather preserve my capital at this moment. But Aave is rolling out a version 3. This is sourced from AMB Crypto. The Aave protocol and its community are currently preparing for the rollout of the Aave protocol version 3, particularly targeting the Ethereum market. Kulachov noted that one of the key features planned for Aave's V3 mainnet rollout is to offer more flexibility when staking, especially during risky market conditions. Aave version 3 users will be better positioned to implement measures for mitigating risks during volatile and unfavorable markets. Now, I do want to show, so I did have, I went to Aave's website and I pulled this directly up from their docs.aave.com. You can look this up yourself. So it talks about the V3 features. Let me make it a little bigger for you guys. So one of the big ones is called isolation mode. Isolation mode allows Aave governance to list new assets as isolated assets, which have a specific debt ceiling. Only certain assets can be borrowed in isolation mode, specifically approved stablecoins. The debt ceiling for an isolated asset is represented as the maximum amount in USD that can be borrowed against a user's collateral with 2 decimals of precision. You also have, where was it? High efficiency mode. Nothing huge to note there that I found. But Also, with Aave V3 gas costs have been optimized for all the relevant functions and to be reduced by 20 to 25% across the board. What are your thoughts on this, Rob? What are your thoughts on this isolation mode? And essentially, so this is supposed to help prevent people, well, not prevent, but help mitigate risk when stuff like Luna happens, FTX happens, extreme volatility, liquidity might be getting drawn out. It essentially gives a ceiling of what you can borrow against and borrow from. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the way it's structured now, especially when you lack liquidity, or when liquidity lacks in the market, these DeFi lending protocols, they can be taken advantage of to affect smaller market. Basically, you borrow on a token, you can short it all the way down. You can pull liquidity from projects. Basically, you can drain a DeFi project if you know what you're doing and you position yourself right, and you have a ton of capital behind you to do it. And there's been no shortage of examples of people taking advantage of Aave and other lend protocols and to taking your money or money of individuals that are investing in these projects. So I don't know too much about how this technology works myself personally, just kind of from what you were saying. The more safeguards in place, the better. And so something's got to change, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like every other week you have another story of another project getting drained, right?
Every week. I mean,
you have bridges, so this is different than bridges. Well, even then, some of the bridge hacks are done with through a DeFi lender as well. I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, if you can limit people's power to influence smaller markets due to liquidity and borrowing, why not? So,
are you comfortable? Are you comfortable using DeFi right now?
I don't have any issue with it. I wouldn't be staking on DeFi. But if I wanted to do a trade, if I wanted to pick up some NFTs or move some money around, do some swaps, things of that nature, I'm fine with it. I wouldn't park anything anywhere. Wouldn't hold any assets. I'm still in the not your keys, not your crypto. I don't think even when the bull market comes back, even when we're in a better spot, you still shouldn't be keeping your crypto on an exchange.
Right.
Like right now is extra caution because there's a lot of uncertainty, but just normal practice, like don't keep your crypto just sitting on an exchange. There's no reason for it. Like unless you plan on making the trade within the next week, I wouldn't go any further than that. Within the next 5 days, if you plan on trading, sure, why not? Cool. But anything more than that, man, like stop. Just take it off, man. At least keep it on a MetaMask or a Trust wallet
where you control the keys.
Yeah,
that would make the most sense. So,
all right.
Hey,
let me ask you a question. What are you more? Let's talk about our two projects just here. What do you think has a more bullish outcome this next bull market? Would it be Avalanche or Aave? And I know you were talking about Aave's upgrade and wasn't really talking about its future and maybe its price potential. But, I know you're a big Aave fan. I also know you're a big Avalanche fan. What do you think has the most potential for upside price movement in the next bull run?
Aave? Price movement. It's tokenomics, right?
Yeah. I'm actually in the Avalanche camp.
You are?
Yeah.
What does the chat think?
Yeah, 1 Avalanche, 2 Aave. Let us know. 1 Avalanche, 2 Aave. I want to know what the chat thinks.
I want to know what the chat thinks.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to know what Congress thinks about Sam Bankman-Fried essentially telling them that he won't be appearing at the meeting in Congress to testify. So if you remember, our fearless leader of the U.S. Committee of Financial Services, the chairwoman said, Sam, we appreciate that you've been candid in your discussions about FTX. Your willingness to talk to the public will help the company's customers, investors, and others. And then invited him to the hearing on the 13th, to which Sam retweeted and said, quote, Representative Waters and the House Committee on Financial Services, once I have finished learning and reviewing what happened I feel like it was my duty to appear before the committee and explain. I'm not sure that'll happen by the 13th. But when it does, I will testify. Now, Robin, Sam has been on this media tour. He's been going on Twitter Spaces. And CoffeeZilla brought up a good point in one of the Twitter Spaces. I'm not sure if it was when Sam was on or when Sam left. He said, we cannot sit here and really believe that the man who built up a $40 billion company, who was this genius, oh my God, his trading is phenomenal. He raised $15 billion from investors. He signed all the documents from Alameda and FTX when it came to acquisitions. And now all of a sudden, he had no idea how his company was operating. Do you, are you in that camp? You're in that camp, right?
Camp that he's a fraud?
The camp that there's no way, the camp that there is no way he had no idea what was going on at Alameda.
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, even if he was completely oblivious of anything that has to do with fraud, you still mismanaged over $2 billion. It's as high as $8 billion, but on the most conservative side, it's $2 billion. But more than likely, there's $8 billion unaccounted for. Now, you can sit here and say, well, no, some of this is accounted for, but whatever. There's a lot of money gone. And, yeah, man, taking a look at this tweet here, I mean, you got.
I had that pulled up too. Yeah.
He's like, Brian Armstrong, he's like, I don't care how messy your counting is or how rich you are. You definitely are going to notice if you find an extra $8 billion.
Thank you.
Like, even the most gullible person should not believe Sam's claim that this was an accounting error.
Then he goes on to say, it's stolen customer funds used in a hedge fund, plain and simple.
Straight up, man. Like, you can sit here and do interview after interview and talk about, well, you know what? We have, lending and, there's risk in lending and liquidity and, FTX.US is solvent in Japan. You lost $8 billion. That's it. Like, stop it, man. I get it. Your company was worth like 80 billion or 60 billion, whatever it was. And so you didn't lose it all, but you still lost 8 billion. Like, that's not okay. And so I don't understand why people aren't asking this dude that question. Like, yo, where the hell did $8 billion go?
They are, Robin. But the problem is,
buttering it up like cocoa.
But the problem
and I'm
is,
just like, man, like, stop with this.
You know who did the best job of interviewing him was George Stephanopoulos from Good Morning America. I had this thing called Masterclass where I was trying to learn different things. I like to learn different things outside of my expertise. And he taught a class on how to interview. And this guy, I mean, I feel like he's the only one that essentially cornered him in a way that didn't fluster Sam, and essentially got kind of an answer, if that's considered an answer with what we've seen from him.
That's the thing. He kind of got an answer. Like, you guys, okay.
But it's the best anyone has done. Okay,
well, that's
it's
what
better
I'm
than
saying,
any of
man,
these Twitter
is that,
Spaces.
you know what? We need somebody with some kind of financial background that understands, that can
or someone who's ran an exchange.
Yeah, somebody that can be like, yo, how about, he's like, well, what happened was
the margin positions that were open.
Yeah, you just need somebody like Brian Armstrong to be like, that's straight BS, bro. What happened to your stock, your spot market? Like, what happened to people's money that took no risk? They didn't put it on the platform to take any risk, and yet they lost all their money. Like, why can't I withdraw my money if I didn't put it in any kind of lending or margin position?
Right.
Like, if I was just, and if I just took $1,000 out of my bank account and I sent it to your exchange, and I was gonna buy some Bitcoin, or I bought some Bitcoin, one or the other.
Well,
and it's gone.
I've used KuCoin's exchange more than I've used FTX's exchange, and I know with KuCoin there's different. Like, you have a trading account, you have a spot account, you have a whatever account. And so if you're holding on FTX, which with everything we've heard, and I haven't gone on the exchange website in a while, that you have separate accounts like that as well. And if I put my money into my spot account and not into leverage trading, not into margin trading, not into borrowing or lending or whatever, then where is that money? Why can I not withdraw that money if in your terms of service it says that money does not belong to FTX? And so he was pressed on that by it was either Rand or CoffeeZilla, one of those guys. And again, with well, there were margin positions. Like, I don't know what we're gonna have to do to get a straight answer from this guy. Is he gonna have to cut a deal? Is he gonna have to, like, I don't know. They're gonna have to put him under the influence of mushrooms. I don't know. But speaking of cutting deals, I don't know. Speaking of cutting deals, apparently there's well, we know.
I just want to give a little shout out to the chat. We were pretty split on that Avalanche and Aave. Yeah, it's pretty split down the middle. I mean, I don't have the numbers here, but tallied up. But definitely two sides of the fence there. A lot of Aave, a lot of Avalanche fans. Do got some new people in chat. Like, you know what? I'm gonna give a little shout out here to some people. So we got CT Higgs, Gesso, Jonathan Suarez, LG, Ricardo Gill, Juan de la Cruz. We got X Arata, Crypto Chef, Cryptoba 3, JJ Jr., and Brian B. Hola! Welcome to City Crypto.
The cryptic mushroom. He said I can make him talk. Yes.
And cryptic mushroom and crump
yes.
seed. Can we get some likes up in here?
Cryptic mushroom.
Why don't y'all liking the video?
Man, I know bear markets guys are tough and everything going on. I'm just happy you guys are here with us, honestly. You guys are fun, you guys are exciting, and we love doing this with you guys. So I want you guys to understand this show, our growth and everything, it's because of you guys. Right? We laid the foundation, but if it wasn't for you, we'd be nothing. So big ups to our community. We love you guys. All right. So I mentioned cutting deals, cutting cheese, cutting the line at Starbucks. I don't know where cutting cheese comes in, but hey. So apparently, Miss Caroline.
Are you hungry, bro?
It's mushroom cheese.
Mushroom cheese, capicola. What else you got over
Sounds
there?
Sounds like a start of a good pizza. Just missing some barbecue sauce.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Okay, what do you guys think about, real quick? What do you guys think about ham and mushroom pizza? The Canadian bacon? Yeah.
Canadian bacon is
ham.
Okay, Canadian bacon is not real bacon. It's not even real Canadian bacon. It's just
literally Canadians are not
it's
real.
Not even Canadian.
It's not even Canadian.
No. There's the thing. There is Canadian bacon, but what you find on pizzas here in the United States is not Canadian bacon. It's literally ham. They take regular ass ham and they put it on there and they try to make it sound sexy.
Do you think they fly it over Canada?
They rebrand it as Canadian bacon. Like, stop. That's literally the Hormel freaking sliced deli meat cut into little
Hormels out of this. Big thank you to X Arata for a 5. Is that a euro? Is that a euro?
€5.
€5. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate the love, you guys. All right. So let's go back to Miss Caroline. Caroline. Rocco?
She's the reason
for the word. Lost all the money. She's reportedly in New York City right now. She was in Hong Kong when this began. And of course, guys, please understand this is speculation. This is from Wall Street Silver.
That's her. That ain't speculation.
No, I'm saying.
That's her ass.
Well, let me finish. The only reason to come back and risk arrest, she already has an immunity deal to testify against Sam. That's speculation.
Can you show the picture bigger? Can you make it bigger?
No, it actually makes it smaller.
What kind of boots?
Got big ass feet.
You know what I'm afraid? There is a money tree. I wonder if he's gonna take it.
That is weed, bro. They got a freaking pot.
That is
weed.
Are you stupid? That is not weed.
That is weed.
Shows how much you know.
Kind of looks like weed. Put one in the chat if that's a weed, if that's a marijuana plant.
It's not a marijuana plant. Jesus Christ. It's literally, it's not an opinion.
Like,
it's
here's
fact.
some tea leaves for you,
So Wall Street Silver goes on to say, coming back to the USA right now would be incredibly stupid. From Hong Kong, she could easily fight extradition for years. The only reason she'd be in New York City would be her lawyer has an immunity deal or a plea to one charge.
I can't with the Sam Bankman like whispering words to me right now.
Okay, that's weird.
You're like,
okay, Rob, can we speculate a little bit here?
Huh?
Could we speculate
about what?
If she didn't, if
like what kind of coffee she's drinking?
Probably a oat milk macchiato or something.
She definitely looks like oat milk.
Oat milk, yeah, or cashew.
She's
milk.
like, I have a magnesium deficiency, calcium deficiency.
Let's stop it.
Let's stop it.
All right, no more. All right, we don't want to make fun of want to make fun of people for doing bad things, but okay. Anyways, if she didn't have a plea deal that people are saying she does, do you think it being in US she would get arrested? Right? Or you think that still hasn't played out yet? Like
That hasn't played out yet.
okay.
And here's the thing. You don't just drop a plea. You don't give somebody a plea deal. That is so like people are rushing to judgment.
Well,
You-
I mean,
you gotta-
it
no,
would
no,
make
here's the
sense
thing.
that they were trying to get her to flip, right?
How do you get a plea deal? A plea deal is, hey,
You have to plead for one.
no, you basically you sit down in front of the Justice Department.
Yeah, how do you know this?
FBI,
You watch a
whatever.
lot of Law and Order?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that
I'm on one today,
this is,
bro.
This is textbook, okay? It's
Okay.
textbook detective work here. So, you bring the evidence, you build a case, and then you bring it up to them. You're like, hey, look, you're facing 30 years, 50 years, whatever it is. This is the evidence, because she's not going to sit down without a lawyer. Lawyer's going to be like, yeah, don't say nothing. And so she's not going to take a plea deal unless there's some imminent charges sitting over her head with evidence to support that can support a conviction. And so that right there, there hasn't been enough time for that to happen. You know what I mean? Alameda is in the Bahamas. And so if you sit here and think that the U.S. Justice Department has all this information that they can put over her head right now that could scare her so far, it could scare her so much that she thinks that she's going to jail right now and she's going to take a plea deal, it's too soon, bro. It's too soon. They're building a case. They haven't brought him in yet. That's my, and maybe I'm wrong, but that's my sentiment.
What do you think, Rocco? You think she cut a deal with the authorities?
Another $5 Euro chat.
Okay. Why does it feel like FTX and Alameda was controlled by mentally disabled people? I'm not going to go as far as say mentally disabled, but we know they were under the influence of amphetamines. And I'm not saying I've ever done amphetamines, but I've been around people who do amphetamines, and it definitely, I mean,
That dude, every interview he does, he's like,
yeah, no, and not joking. Like,
yeah,
he
no, I'm
probably,
saying like he is literally going through withdrawals, bro. I'm not trying to make, I'm not making light of anything. I've had people in my family deal with drug and alcohol abuse problems. I've dealt with it firsthand.
Same here.
It's ugly, but if there's one thing I've learned is how to identify people with drug and alcohol problems. And I mean, I don't want to pass judgment, but there are a lot of indicators that at first glance says, dude is tweaking right now, bro.
Yeah.
He's been using a
Gregory.
jackhammer.
What's up, Rocco?
Or maybe he's been using a jackhammer for a long time.
And jackhammer. Yes. Like the cartoons.
Gregory, I believe, has Gregory been here before? Gregory Greziak?
Graziak. Hola! And also SB Olive. We got a couple new people
I
in
love
here as well.
olives. You like olives? You
I'm
like blue cheese
I'm
olives or regular
Portuguese,
olives?
bro. I'm Portuguese. I love me some olives. Speaking of Portugal, Portugal plays tomorrow at 11.
What's
You
the
will
score?
be doing
Give
the
us an
show.
update on the
You
Brazil
will, you will
game.
be doing the show solo after 11 p.m. tomorrow. I'm just letting you know that right
11
now.
a.m.
Yeah, 11 a.m. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Dave -1. You know what? Kenny, you're back. So,
You wanna,
was asking Rocco a question? Oh,
where are my Brazilians at?
what's the score?
2-0. Brazil's put
Brazil's
up
up 2-0?
Yeah,
Nah, they gave
well,
it
they're
up.
playing Korea, man. I mean, hats off to Korea, man. They got to the round of 16, but
True.
you're going against Brazil. It's that's like the Browns going. That's like the Browns going against the Patriots back in the heyday with Tom Brady there.
Brazil.
Yeah.
All right. So some more FTX news we want to cover for you guys. So a couple more things regarding FTX. The first one being that Sam says FTX customers deposited around $5 billion into the Alameda controlled accounts, sourced from B in Crypto. According to a Wall Street Journal report, Sam said he had no idea how Alameda worked despite owning 90% of the company.
How do you not know how your own company works? To sit here and think we don't, like, everybody knows how Alameda works. Actually, I don't. But I'm just saying that
okay.
everybody that worked at that company knows how Alameda works, especially the guy who
started it?
Yeah.
Who started it? How do you start and create a $10 billion company and have no idea what's going on? Like, I get it. Your company gets big. I'm sure Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they're not in there day to day. But you damn well be sure if you have the right people in place that are not complicit to fraud, they're going to say, hey, Elon, I don't know where this extra $2 billion's from, bro. Like, should we, what are we doing here? It's just like, it's such a BS excuse. I should have done a better job. I'm not Alameda. I don't know how it works. It's so BS, man. And it's like people keep trying to pin him on it, and it's the same answer talking in circles. Like, at what point are we wasting our time? At what point are we wasting our time and giving this man the platform to spew his BS enough to where some people might start believing him? Right? Could there be a negative to him being continually invited on these Twitter spaces to the point, Robin, where the average person who doesn't know, understands crypto and how spot trading works and margin trading works, they listen to this man spew garbage and like, oh, okay, yeah, I believe him. Especially when you see him over and over and over and over again. Would you agree?
No.
All right, back to this. FTX customers deposited into Alameda's account during the early days of the exchange because it did not have its own bank account. He added that customers of the bankrupt firm had deposited around $5 billion into these accounts. The article goes on to say, Sam revealed that FTX had a flawed internal system that made it difficult to know the extent of Alameda's trades on the exchange. According to him, he was too busy with work at FTX and other projects to monitor Alameda's operations. Sam said Alameda got special treatment from FTX, which allowed it to trade above limits and borrow heavily from the exchange and also to not get liquidated. So, you got anything else? Anything you want to give your opinion on here, Rob? He was too busy with work. When the guy literally says he plays, what game does he play? World of Warcraft or League of Legends? I'm just saying, man, like, guys, please don't buy into this BS. You know, I'm all for second chances, but not to someone who comes out and pretends like we're dumb. Like we're stupid, like we don't understand. You steal $8 billion from people, you come out and say, oh, I didn't know. Like, we're not stupid, bro. If you would have come out and said, guys, I messed up, I frauded people, it was a blah, 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 still going to hate you.
Why is going to come out
But
and
at least
say
I'll
something
respect
like that?
the fact that you were able to do that.
He will never come out to say something like that.
I'm just giving an example.
You know who I
No,
do
I don't.
respect? Our boy Pella Gick. I don't know if you're here, but if you are, upgraded to the hodler account.
That was last show, Friday. We acknowledged him.
No, that was 2 days ago. That was,
It was on a
Saturday.
live show, I promise you.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just
Give another. And Overcome gave us a $5 super chat. Sam definitely has the self-centered fear symptom of alcoholism. I haven't been around alcoholism, my family or my life, so can't comment on that. But okay, so here's another article. This is from CNBC. Sam Bankman could face years in prison after FTX's $32 billion meltdown if the U.S. ever gets around to arresting him. FTX founder SBF is already under investigation by numerous agencies, but arresting him won't be straightforward. The former crypto titan has the SEC, the CFTC, the Southern District of New York, and the Department of Justice on his case, but it'll take months, if not years, to fully assemble all the evidence. As FTX moves through bankruptcy protection, private citizens can file suit against Sam Bankman-Fried, but the article goes on to say, good luck. Apparently, he's only got $100,000 in his bank account. Now, Rob, a lot of people are saying when Bernie Madoff's scam got revealed, he was arrested the next day. Do you know? And I didn't dig into this myself, but I'm assuming they had built up evidence and a case leading up to his his Ponzi scheme coming out, and then arresting him the next day. What do you know about that situation?
I mean,
Do you know that to be true?
no.
Or okay, so then what do you say to the people that say, well, why did Bernie Madoff get arrested literally 24 hours after his Ponzi
Dude's in the
scheme was-
Bahamas.
Bro, come on, bro.
They're
If they
building a
wanted-
case. He's in the Bahamas,
Bro,
and you know
they
what?
could
Here's
get
the
him
thing.
here from
But-
the Bahamas
but-
if they wanted to. Stop
but
it.
Okay. You can't. You would have to extradite
It's not like
him.
he's in Russia
He would have
or
to get.
China.
He would have to get extradited, And for him to get extradited, he has to be charged. And for him to be charged, they'd have to build a case and gather evidence. It's too soon, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. It's how the system works. I'm sorry, man. Now, if he was sitting in New York, which is funny because that's where Caroline is. But if he was sitting in New York, I feel like it would work. The process would be faster. Okay, I'll put it this way. If the company was based in New York, if the company's headquarters are in New York, and FBI could raid the business in New York, take computers, then yeah, you could file charges because the evidence would be front and center right there. The process of doing this, I mean, have you seen FBI agents in the Bahamas? That's what I'm saying. You got to build a case, man. And how much of this is not on the internet? I mean, I know a lot of the evidence is out there front and center for everybody to see, and it's on blockchain. I get that. But how much of it do we not see? How much of it is sitting on a hard drive, sitting on a computer? How much of it is sitting on a server down there? There's got to be mountains of evidence that they need to build their case that they don't have access to just yet. And if I'm sorry, dude, if you think this is going to like all of a sudden charges are going to be here and this guy's going to be in court in the next 3 weeks or 3 months, sadly mistaken. This is he probably won't see a court system. If he ever does, if he ever sees a court system, it more than likely won't be for a couple of years, man. Even if they let's just say if they charged him and arrested him, it would still be over a year before his court date would come up. And that charging is probably going to be a year or two out. And so if a year from now they charge him with something, then a year from then you'll get the court case, and then it'll probably be a year-long court case before that gets resolved. So, I mean, don't hold your breath if you think this dude is going to be sitting in jail anytime soon. Hell no. And then all of this he can drag his feet the whole time if he decides not to come back willingly to the U.S. And the extradition process is a long process too. They don't just call up on the phone and be like, yo, can you bring a boy over here? Like, nah, that's a whole legal process. Government's got to work with each other. You know, governments don't like working with each other.
I don't know.
Our government can't even work with itself.
Sure.
They're like, anybody speak Bohemian? Be like, they speak English. Like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro.
You know, I don't know. You know, back in the 70s, they sent troops in Nicaragua to fight drugs. I know it's a different thing.
I saw it. You're right, because I saw it in the Netflix series, the Pablo Escobar one.
The business was worth. We're talking about $6 billion, $8 billion. How much money has to be to send somebody to pick this guy out? It's not even it's just one guy.
Send Ben, bro. Ben the bounty hunter, bro.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Ben the bounty hunter.
Yeah, if he got his bounty hunter license, I bet you.
Look, one last thing I'll say on Sam and FTX is, he came out and said, "Hey, we were 8 minutes from raising $4 billion, and there's talks that Kevin O'Leary was behind helping Sam raise that $4 billion that he's talking about."
I don't know.
If that's true, man, I would. If I was an investor with Kevin O'Leary, I'd think twice.
It's 3-0 Brazil now.
Dang. All right, that'll do it for the show today, guys. Go check out our merch store. The link is in the description of the video. Also, everyone gets 10% off for in the Christmas spirit of Christmas. Also, go follow us on Twitter at Sin City Crypto 1, Instagram, TikTok, all the links, everything you want.
What you get me for Christmas, bro?
Nothing. Rocco,
We got a Christmas tree.
friends, family, friends, and family, and family, friends. We thank you guys so much for joining us on this special Monday. We look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. On behalf of myself, Robin, the Don, and Kyler Murray, we love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.